Hello there, I'm the Biblical Translator, and today I wanted to talk about sex. Now, being a Christian and being in the church, so many Christians feel guilty if they have sex outside marriage. Infidelity is frowned upon. So what tends to happen with people, especially with Christians who go to church, they seek to get married quickly. It's a way of formalizing and allowing them to have sex, or so they think. But what happens when you are in a situation where you marry someone, legitimizing sex and legitimizing the fact that you are now expected to be faithful? You're in a monogamous relationship, but for some reason, whatever that reason is, your partner is not giving you sex. You're not being allowed to make love to your spouse. In the male's case, it could be that the woman is tired, she's just come home from work, she's got children to look after, she's just not in the mood. For the male, it's all right when they're young and healthy, but what happens when they develop prostate cancer or diabetes? Those health issues that can cause impotence. What happens to those who are impotent or who just can't get an erection and their wife feels cheated? So we're in a situation where we have Christians who married because they thought it was a ticket to have sex, putting it bluntly, but they find that they're not getting it. And spouses, they don't want their wives to be unfaithful. They don't want their partners to be unfaithful, whether it's male or female. And yet they can't give them what they want. They can't provide with them what they want. When a man gets an urge, he wants the urge satisfied. When a woman gets the urge, she's more likely to hold on to it and suffer, and maybe have an affair outside. We don't know. But whatever it is, everyone has sexual urges as long as they're healthy and as long as they're in love with their partners and they have a good relationship. Relationships are about communication. How do you feel? I know with women, they need to feel validated. They need to feel loved in order to share that part of their body. Of course, you have those who just want to satisfy an urge. You have those who just have sex for sex sake. You have men who just want sex for sex sake. And you have those who just want to devote themselves to one person. And if that person says they're not going to give it up, they just stay faithful. And they wait for that moment when they feel the time is right. And sometimes it works out. The thing is that with these kind of situations, what do you do? What is the answer? When somebody gets married, especially in Christian situations where you've been saying while you're dating, look, I can't go to bed with you because I need to be married. I don't want it to be frowned on. And then when you get married, you withhold it for whatever reason. Some women don't really think about, when they ask their spouses to be faithful, that they should ensure that their husbands are happy, are satisfied. That doesn't mean if you've got an oversexed husband you have to give it to him every time he wants it, because there is such a thing called restraint. There is such a thing called the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit, let me tell you what they are. I'm sure you know what they are. Can I find them though? Galatians 5:22-23. Love, joy, peace, forbearance, which is tolerance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Those are the fruits of the Spirit, and those are the fruits you need to have in a relationship. Remember that sex is has been glorified in the media and in society. Sex has been given a totally different meaning than what it was originally meant for. Sex wasn't meant just to gratify each other. That wasn't the purpose of sex. Originally, sex was just to have a child. And you only had sex when you were going to have a child, and it wasn't meant to be enjoyed. But now, you get men, they want you to do all kind of antics, all kind of acrobatics. And under the guise that if you love them, you will do A, B, C, D, and E. And love, self-control, tolerance, and faithfulness. Those are the fruits of the Spirit. Those are the fruits that you need to be cultivating. When you're thinking about sex with your spouse, you need to be cultivating the fruits of the Spirit so that neither of you feels pressured. And that you concentrate on providing love and joy in the relationship, because it says, against these there is no law. If somebody is happy, if somebody hasn't got no stress. The thing is with some partners, especially male partners, they have this thing about the female role, and they don't understand that by supporting their wife or their spouse or their partner, that they're actually relieving their partner of stress, of doing extra work, and leaving them free and their body free to be enjoyed. But if that woman has to think about everything she's got to do and all the responsibilities she has to make, and all the little bits and pieces that she has to sort out and organise, how do you expect her to want to have sex? Her frame of mind isn't there. So partners should be there for each other, to free each other's minds, to provide the love, the joy, the peace of mind. What are you doing to give your spouse peace of mind so that she'll want to enjoy you and so that you can enjoy her? What about women? Okay, I've said that. Sex is not a given. It is not something you deserve. It has a lot to do with emotions, feelings, and whether or not, especially with women, she feels loved, emotionally supported, and safe. Having sex just because you want it is selfish. Like fasting and meditating, men have the ability to abstain. Exercise self-control until both parties are psychologically ready. So it's not about trading and holding sex as hostage, whether it being conditional, a condition of something else or conditional on something else. It shouldn't be like that. And you shouldn't be marrying someone just so you can get sex, just so you can say, okay, I'm not being unfaithful. Because if you marry your wife because you feel as though it's going to place you in good stead with God because you're no longer committing infidelity, and she is not of the type that wants to give it to you when you want it, you're going to be unhappy. And then what's going to happen? You're going to end up having relationships outside the marriage anyway, or you're going to be very resentful towards her, and you're not going to be in a happy marriage. So the focus on sex needs to be taken out, and remember that it's the world and society who are placing emphasis on sex, placing emphasis on how you enjoy sex, placing emphasis on what you do to give each other pleasure, because there are some warped people out there who do some weird things to get pleasure. And you should not be imposing that on each other. That should be something that you discuss and something that both parties agree on. But it shouldn't be an expectation. You shouldn't be saying to your spouse, oh, if you loved me, you would do this. That is not what sex is about, or any part of the sexual act. So why do partners insist on monogamy when they are not prepared to satisfy their partner's urges? It is a given that you need to exercise tolerance, and if you love someone, you will wait until the both of you are ready. And I think I'm going to stop it there. I'm the Biblical Translator.